Hello and welcome back to THEO'S Theories. As most of our regular followers know, we always start off the show with a quote, and today is going to be no different. As B.F. Skinner once said, education is what survives and what has been learned has been forgotten. This show is all about educational theories, and today we have a real treat for you, as we're going to be doing the behavioural learning theory. So grab your cup of tea, a few rich tea biscuits, sit down and relax. Over to this man. To test operant cooling, Skinner initially placed a rat in a small box, and the rat simply ran around the box. The second time Skinner tried to place the rat in a box, he had someone on the outside push a lever, causing food to come out inside the box. The third time, the rat pressed the lever himself straight away, causing food to come out on a continuous basis. Reinforcement increases the frequency of desirable behaviour, as you can see from this diagram. Punishment decreases the frequency of undesirable behaviour. The positive side of things applies stimuli, and the negative side of things removes stimuli. Some of you might not know this, but before Skinner there was a man known as Pavlov, and he was equally as clever, and he discovered the idea of classical conditioning. This involved a dog being presented with food. They would then see how much saliva the dog would produce. As you would expect, the dog produced a lot of saliva initially once he saw the food. The next time Pavlov presented the food, he would ring a bell. Eventually, after a large number of tests, the dog associated the bell with the food, and any time Pavlov rang the bell, the dog would produce saliva. This in turn meant that the bell went from being a neutral stimulant to a conditioned stimulant. That was very interesting, and that would be especially useful for teachers. Let me show you an example.
Okay, can anyone tell me what the capital of France is?
Berlin.
No, that's incorrect, that answer. That's a terrible answer. Okay, so can anyone else tell me what the capital of France is? Okay, can anyone tell me what the capital of France is?
Berlin.
Okay, that's actually not the right answer, but at least you tried. Do you want to try again?
Paris.
That's the correct answer, well done.
Some of you out there might think I have a brilliant job, coming in here, presenting the show, collecting my paycheck, but there are some downsides. As you know, we get some beautiful guests on our show, and there's a clause in my contract that means I'm not allowed to hit on them. But today, that guest is Peggy McDonough. Hello Peggy, welcome on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Don't be listening to what they were telling you in the studio, there are only tables in there.
Okay.
You're looking very hot today, Peggy. Wouldn't like to cool down?
For you rascal.
Oh, that's the way I am. So Peggy, we brought you into here today just to tell us about behaviourism.
Yes. Do you want me to explain it?
Please, if you don't mind, I'd love that.
Right.
We wouldn't waste money then.
So behaviourism believes that a learner starts out with a clean slate.
Okay.
And that behaviour is shaped by positive and negative reinforcement, like Skinner said.
Oh yeah.
And do you know Watson?
I've heard of Watson. He's a lovely man.
Yeah, he's
I'd love to go for a pint with Watson.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
He's a really important figure too in classical conditioning. And he said, a really popular sentence he said was, give me a dozen healthy infants and I can train them to become whatever I want, regardless of their genes and their talents.
Okay. And so does that mean that anything could be conditioned, like a mother and a child?
Well, yes. Yeah, he believed that even love can be conditioned.
Okay.
For example, a mother's face frequently appears along with patting and stroking, so it becomes a conditioned stimulus for the child, yeah.
And could you tell me, could this be applied to the classroom? For all our teachers out there that we know, we have a few regular teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. There are many strategies based on behavioral theories that have been developed for teachers to alter the behavior of their students in the classroom.
Ah, that's very interesting. The teachers didn't use it on me when I was younger. I was always a bit of a devil in the classroom.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, well anyway Peggy, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You make Theo Theories a real delight. So it's a pleasure to have you. Thanks very much.
Okay.
To all the viewers at home, thanks very much for watching, and until next week, goodbye.